Hello and welcome to the read of the Love Exquisite Magazine for May 2022. I'm laughing at myself because as I'm listening to these videos that I'm reading, every time I say hello, I sound like the movie phone guy. Hello and welcome to movie phone. Well, that's not me, but I sound a little like that person. So I'm like, hello. So I got to think of something else to start out with so I won't have to sound like that. But that's my natural voice. So this is real. The magazine's real. The articles are real and informative, empowering, inspiring, and educational. So we bring this to you every month. So make sure that you subscribe to the Love Exquisite Magazine. It is free. There is no reason why you should not be a subscriber to our YouTube channel, the Lynette Clements YouTube channel, where I read some of the magazines each month. Welcome to the month of May. Happy Mother's Day to all of the beautiful mothers out there, especially mine. Happy Mother's Day. And also, this month is the month of my birthday. My birth month. It is May. I am a Taurus. Shout out to all the Tauruses out there. I turned the big 50 this year, so 50 where? 50 where? 50 where? Anyway, so happy birthday to me and happy birthday to all my fellow Taurians who share a birthday this month. So I am reading for the Love of Relationships section of the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access for free on loveexquisite.com. This is a good one this month. Another good one. So each month I read you articles that are written in the magazine. Some of the articles, there's a lot of different information in there. So I don't read everything. I don't read everything because I want you to read some of these articles as well. There's different topics to read and learn and grow from. So this month I always pray about different things to talk about each month. And this month I was engaged in a conversation with a bunch of different people, males and females, in regards to relationships. And one of the biggest challenges that people face when trying to develop relationships, when trying to keep and maintain relationships, as well as just in the relationship, in the midst of a relationship, is the article that I titled "The Ego." The ego, woo! It keeps us from a lot. It keeps us doing some of the most dumbest things, saying saying things that we later regret, and doing things that we really want to do. It prevents us from behaving the right way a lot of times, and communicating the right way a lot of times. The ego. So here is the article. The ego is a powerful, invisible, emotional force that can control our behaviors because it often controls our mind. The ego sometimes regulates our mood, behavior, thought processes, communication style, ability to connect with others, as well as controls our actions. Just think about it. Think about your ego. The ego can be inflated and deflated and is often driven by pride. People with inflated egos are narcissistic, self-centered, immature, because a lot of things that stem from the ego stems from our own immaturity. So again, people with inflated egos are narcissistic, self-centered, immature, and let their ego control their thoughts and behaviors. People with deflated egos often have low self-esteem, are people pleasers, need to feel accepted by others, and usually follow trends. All of the personality characteristics that I mentioned are some of the reasons why everyone should keep their ego out of the relationships. Your ego can interfere with your relationship in a negative way. The ego is sometimes tied to your status in life. Despite where you are in life, you have to be mindful to regulate your ego, and do not let your ego regulate what you say and do. The ego can prevent you from apologizing for something that you have done wrong. The ego can prevent you from loving someone who is different from you. The ego can prevent you from calling someone that you know you want to talk to, but your pride won't allow you to move beyond your fears of rejection. The ego will prevent you from accepting a job offer that you think is beneath you. You hear people say, "Oh, I don't want to work at Walmart, McDonald's," even if you don't have a job. Now, how much sense does that make? The ego can make you overlook dating someone that you're attracted to because he or she makes less money than you do. Think about it. The ego is what, in my opinion, prevents men and women from getting along with each other in a relationship. Check your egos at the door. Check your egos. Just think about your ego and how it impacts your ability to either form new relationships, maintain relationships, or just be in a relationship, period. In a harmonious relationship, I should say. How is your ego affecting that? So if men and women learn how to put their egos in check, meaning regulate their emotions, because the ego stems from an emotional place. It's an emotional invisible force that is powerful, as I mentioned before. So meaning regulate their emotions in a more mature way, because it's an immature emotion. We may actually get along better with one another harmoniously. Take a moment to think about your ego, your pride, and what both are preventing you from doing. It's usually something that you really want to do, but your ego won't allow you to do it. You're either afraid of what people might think, or people might say, or afraid of what you think the outcome might not be, based on your thought processes. So you have to swallow your pride. So I assure you that it is something that you really want to do. It's usually something that you really want to do. But if only you were willing to let go and swallow your pride, you would be so much better for it. Trust me, you would. Do not let your egos get in the way. So whatever it is, if it is for the betterment of your relationship, you have to be willing to put your ego aside for the sake of the relationship. So most conflict situations that occur in a male and female relationship, they usually occur from a power and control dynamic, or the stereotypes of what male and female gender roles should be, which usually derives from what? The ego. The conflict that involves the ego usually begins with someone saying either, you should know, if you wouldn't have, you are not my, I am not your, I used to, but I shouldn't be, it shouldn't be this way because, why can't you, I shouldn't have to, I want to do it, but I refuse. What are other people going to say about? Or let me talk first. Those statements are ego-driven statements. Those things and the way you begin a conversation. I am not your, you are not my, I used to do that, but I ain't doing it no more. It should be this way because, why can't you? I shouldn't have to tell you. You might have said it, but all of those statements come from this ego. Oh, I want to do it, but I refuse to because the last person I was with. All of that is ego. Put it aside. So what would people think? Why are you worried about? Why do you even care what people are going to say about it? or let me talk first. Like, you just got to get out what you want to say, because what you want to say to you is more important than what somebody else. So ego is ego, all ego. Think about it. So these are all ego-driven responses that can stem from either the fear of losing control of the situation, and that fear actually drives the ego in a negative way, because it can create an illusion of something occurring that we cannot humanly predict. You don't want to do something because of what you think might be the outcome. Well, you can't predict what the outcome will be. So if it's something that you want to do and it's safe and it's not hurting anyone, do it. Don't matter what people have to say about it. It's your life. Nobody can replicate you. Nobody has to live your life except you. It's your life. So yet some of you allow the fear to stop you from either loving people the right way because of your egos. So your egos have to be put in check. You have to control your ego. So learn how to regulate your ego so that it does not regulate you and prevent you from living a more authentic life. The ego focuses way too much attention on superficial things. Like, I gotta have this, I gotta have that, because of what people want to say, or I want people to see me this way. And ego. It's all ego. So the more you learn how to regulate your ego, the better you will be in regard to making better decisions in your relationship. Put your ego aside, and putting your ego aside will require you to be vulnerable and let go of irrational fears, because that's usually what they are. Accept your mistakes, be empathetic and compassionate, as well as be transparent enough to open up and tell and show your mate how much you really love and care for them. Don't be afraid to love them the right way. Don't be afraid to put your egos aside. And this is for males and females. Controlling your ego will also require you to stop overthinking. Stop being afraid to look dumb or to feel stupid, and don't take everything so personal. Like, don't play mind games, be open to forgiveness, as well as take responsibility and accountability for your wrongdoings and the part that you play in a disagreement in a relationship. So this is all about your relationships and how the ego impacts relationships. So you have to control your ego and not let it control you. And the steps that I list in the article are the steps that can help you achieve putting your egos aside. So if you truly want to be happy in your relationship, practice being humble. Practice being humble and let your ego go if it is causing problems in your relationship or your ability to form new relationships. So just like a bully, the ego is a bully. The ego is a bully. So the ego will always try to control your thoughts, your actions, and behaviors. That's what bullies do. So, however, know that you can control your ego. So don't let it control you. Don't create a seesaw movement type of relationships, ups and downs, and you're this way, you're this way, you're this way, you're this way, because you're trying to control one another. No, it's my way. No, it's my way. It should be this way. It should be this way. It should be my way. No, it should be my way. I'm right. You're wrong. Whatever. Those are egos. So stay humble and be maturely open to surrender the need to be in control of your mate. Harmoniously, I repeat, harmoniously love one another the right way. And the first step to doing that is to let go of your ego. And I leave it with a quote from Yogi Bhajan. When ego is lost, limit is lost. You become infinite, kind, and beautiful. That is written in the For the Love of Relationships section of the May 2022 Love Exquisite Magazine. Make sure that you subscribe to the magazine as well as this YouTube channel. Thank you for listening, and put your ego aside. It will be a beneficial thing to do for your relationships. Thank you for listening.